Hi, Gemini. Welcome to your April 2016 love reading. It's Rena here. So, the card I picked for the overall energy in April for you in your love life is the King of Wands. This is like a double masculine type of an energy. So, this could be a real macho type of a man who is a take charge type of a man, a leader. Could be a boss of yours. It could be related to your father in some way. You did get two kings in this reading, so there could be father issues, father-in-law issues. But I feel like this might be the person in question. I think, there's always a possibility that some of you are this King of Wands. In other words, you have kind of taken control of your life, because I got, as the recent past, the Six of Pentacles. And this could have been some sort of equitable distribution or some kind of money that you received, possibly from a divorce settlement. And now you're feeling self-empowered to be able to continue on independently as a single person. But for others, the King of Wands may relate to being involved with a fire sign male. So either an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. And maybe in the past you had been with an earth sign. And now you have compatibility with a fire sign because, the earth signs don't necessarily mesh that well overall with air signs. They view the world from a completely different vantage point. And fire signs can really bring a lot of zest to your life. Gemini, I think you guys are some of the more interesting people in the zodiac, and you need people that interest you. You can't just be mired or bogged down in quote unquote practical matters. You need to be able to have long intellectual discussions with others. You need to be able to kind of share dreams, ideas, and do so in an amusing way. The higher perspective is the King of Swords. So if you have been coming from a divorce situation, I would say one of the takeaways is to watch out for the tendency you have to be a little bit out of touch with your feelings, or not to gravitate towards such people. This may be a man who was strong in many ways, not necessarily a bad person, but who was a little bit too rational, too logical, and could not see life from any other perspective. The action step to take is the Six of Swords in reverse. And so typically, like when we look at the Six of Swords upright, it's about escaping an inharmonious situation and going towards a peaceful situation. In the reverse position, I think it's telling you that you can't run away from your problems. And so whether there's anything actively happening on that front right now, or if it's just a word to the wise in future relationships, especially following that King of Swords, do not allow that tendency that air signs have of trying to either intellectualize your problems or just sublimate them and not deal with them altogether. Don't be afraid of your feelings. Don't run away from them. Confront them head on, and they will never cause quite the problems that they do when they are not addressed. And particularly in relationships, this is crucial because things pile up if they're not dealt with as they happen. The challenge card is a Sun card, which is like, not much of a challenge at all. It could be dealing with an actual Leo person. If there is somebody in the picture that's a Leo, be careful about being in a relationship with that person. Doesn't mean you can't be, but there may be hurdles to jump in order to get there. But it could be that your obstacle is that there's so much happening that you may not know what exactly to do. There's so many options for you at this time. I will say that you do have a lot of activity in the seventh house of relationships because Mars is in Sagittarius, and that's your seventh house. So you may have been experiencing a lot of strife in that area. And it is going to be turning retrograde on the 17th of April. And we also have Saturn in your seventh house as well. We also have Saturn in your seventh house. It is already retrograding, but Saturn in the seventh can test relationships. So with Mars and Saturn, which are two heavies, in the seventh house, there may have been a lot of heavy experiences and lessons that needed to be learned related to long-term relationships, Gemini. But with the sun as an obstacle, maybe it's warning you against going the other route and being too optimistic at a time when you need to be quite sober and seeing things as they really are. Maybe, all of this heaviness has caused you to overreact in the opposite direction. The sun card is the yes card, so it could be suggesting that you are having the tendency right now of wanting to say yes to too much. And if you have gotten out of a recent long-term relationship, you might just want to take a breather and kind of reflect on the lessons learned before jumping back into the fray. The outcome is the Empress card, and this is connected to Libra, so it might be an actual Libra in the picture that you end up with. But it can also just relate to you embracing that part of yourself that is sensual, which may not come naturally for a lot of Gemini individuals, specifically women. You may see yourself in a more cerebral kind of a sense instead of a girly girl. It's also a card of creativity, so for those artists in the crowd, it would be a great idea to do something along those lines, especially if you've been consumed with emotional concerns. But it's really grounding yourself and exploring a more earthy or tangible, sensual part of who you are as a human being. And so that's really cool. I like that. So I hope you enjoyed this, Gemini. If you'd like a personal reading, click on the link below. Take care. Bye.